G'day mates, it's the Doctor here, and welcome to the first of anime discussions that I'm going to be doing on my channel for a while. So about a month ago, I made a little announcement where my subscribers can vote for one of two things, which was anime discussions and another topic that I may get around to another time. And while I am aware I don't have that many subscribers, there was only one person who voted, which was anime discussions, and yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing for a while, as I said. So whoever it was, thank you for voting. And I'm going to start this series with a personal story of my anime experience. So at some point, I think we've all had a moment in our lives where we wish we could turn back time and change things, but it is fascinating of what has led to the next thing in my life. And start from very beginning. Please bear with me from this. It's obviously not anime, but one of the first shows that I really fell in love to was Thomas the Tank Engine. As some of you know, I write parodies for Delmar, and well, they haven't been released yet, but I'm also the writer and narrator for the Sodor series by Turns Tractor 525. And I must say, I'm really glad that I've been watching Thomas the Tank Engine for all these years. But moving on from Thomas the Tank Engine, which was probably around 2005 maybe, when Yu-Gi-Oh! GX started off. It was two of my cousins that introduced me to both the card game and the show. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Pretty much dominated my life for a long time. I was absolutely obsessed with this franchise. Even though Yu-Gi-Oh! Is notorious for its English dubs, it's still, unlike any other show that I watched at the time, not even like Pokemon, I would say, which I did watch Pokemon, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Was just something else. And I collected a whole bunch of cards, played with my friends, and I've rewatched this series so many times. Original, GX, 5Ds, and even Zexal. But it was probably around 2012 when the same cousins that showed me Yu-Gi-Oh! Eventually showed me Fairy Tail, which is another anime series, but this time it was dubbed by Funimation, and I don't think I've seen any other English dubs from 4Kids outside of 4Kids Entertainment, so this was the first Funimation dub I ever saw. And yeah, I never saw Dragon Ball Z as a kid, or Full Metal Alchemist. So Fairy Tail was the one that just blew me away. Like, what is with these voices and the acting? It's so good. So Fairy Tail, I wouldn't say it dominated my life. I still love it, but well, I guess you could say for a short while. Like, again, I still love it, but Fairy Tail was the one that made me want to check out other anime, like go around to One Piece, Dragon Ball Z at the time. And it's funny that how much of an impact these two cousins of mine have had on me, from Yu-Gi-Oh! And Fairy Tail. And then it was around 2014, about 2 years later, when I was getting back into Thomas and Friends. Now, I was trying to look up model trains at the time, and there weren't many videos that really, like, wowed me, like, oh my gosh, this is an amazing video. And it suddenly occurred to me that Thomas and Friends were basically model trains, and a lot of gorgeous cinematography, especially in the classic era. And that's how I got back into Thomas and Friends, pretty much. And with YouTube, I eventually found the fan community, like Missoliver&blossom, for example. Although it wasn't his TNF videos, which he's most famous for. It was actually his Q&A videos that I started watching over and over, and even though I didn't quite get the questions regarding his TNF series, it was fascinating to hear about other fans around my age that they still watch Thomas and Friends. And from there, it's another 2 years later when a show called My Hero Academia came out, which I didn't watch for a while, but I was aware that it exploded in popularity pretty much, and it's such a good show, but yeah, I chose to ignore it for a while until I saw a Q&A video. I don't know how I got into actors' Q&A videos, but I believe it had something to do listening to Missoliver&blossom's Q&A videos, and there was one with Monica Rial, who has voiced a lot of anime characters. And just a brief rundown: she voices Bulma in current Dragon Ball Z, Mira Jane in Fairy Tail, and Mayrin from Black Butler, and so many others. But in this Q&A video, she started talking about My Hero Academia, and she voiced the character Suyu, and puts on a weird voice, and I just had to look at who the heck is this character? What the heck is that thing? And pretty much because of that, I decided to give My Hero Academia a try. And she also said that there was going to be a second season, so I think this is definitely the right time to watch My Hero Academia. And that's pretty much the story, ladies and gentlemen, that somehow my life has gone through, or it's been through Thomas and Friends, then Yu-Gi-Oh!, and then Fairy Tail, and now My Hero Academia. It's just weird when I think about it, and that's why I'm making this video, to share this really odd tale of what has led to this, then this, and yeah, it's weird, and both of these franchises are still going. Like Thomas and Friends is entering its 22nd season. Yu-Gi-Oh! Now has its sixth series, Yu-Gi-Oh! Reigns, and I love the idea of the new monsters they introduced in this series, the Link monsters. And Fairy Tail is got a new movie, and it's going to have one more season that should be starting up some point this year. And My Hero Academia has a third season development, plus a game for the Nintendo Switch, and even a frickin' movie. So yeah, it's crazy. It's just crazy when I think about it. But at the same time, during my years of watching Yu-Gi-Oh! For so long, it does make me wish that I should have been watching other shows instead of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like Fullmetal Alchemist. I still haven't seen either series, or other famous shows. I still haven't seen Death Note, but I have started watching One Piece, and I finished Dragon Ball Z, so some of the other big titled anime shows. And I really don't think I would change anything if I had the chance. Because with Yu-Gi-Oh!, I think most of us can agree it's not proper anime. Because of the voice acting, it's not that good, and the English dub's just not accurate with the original. But that's certainly the case with the Fairy Tail anime, so it made me appreciate English dubs from a completely different perspective, and that's why I love Fairy Tail so much. Even though I'm probably alone on that, like I'm sure many people would say there are other shows that are way better than Fairy Tail, but Fairy Tail will always have a soft spot in my heart. And I apologize if I was jumping around randomly, but for my future anime discussions, they're definitely going to be scripted. next time around. And I don't know how many I'm going to do, and I don't know how often I'm going to release them, but hopefully you'll enjoy, and hopefully you also enjoyed this video, more importantly. And until next time, take care, mates.